Hey guys, something big happened for me very recently. By recently, I mean literally right now. As some of you guys may know, I am very into guild versus guild in this game. It is my favorite mode in the game, and it's a big deal for me. Realistically, our guild was cruising around top 10, doing very well, but there were always some guilds that we were never able to beat. The ranking system's kind of trash, but essentially we could only really lose to about 5-6 guilds, and one of the big ones was Awaken Chaos. And as you can see right here, we have officially beaten them for the first time, which is huge, and I want to go over it with you guys today. So first of all, Rising Horde, my guild, shout out everyone who participated, which is all of them, and who helped out, because it was a lot of fun. Awaken Chaos, I mean, they did a great job as well. Shout out to them as well. I always love these really close matches. It gives me a reason to do stuff. And I'm going to show you guys, first of all, our defenses that worked. Some hard defenses on their side. And then I'm going to go into some of my attacks. As you can see, I'm in the bubble. Don't ask. Well, anyways, going into the defenses, there were a couple that did decent. As you can see, we got like a 3-3 here. We got a 3-4 there. There's a couple good defenses. This was a very good one right here with Beelzebub there. There were a lot of really solid Nightmare defenses, especially in this season. And we also have, this team right here as well, but that one kind of got rolled immediately. This one held very well. Now keep in mind, a lot of the gear in the Awakenings are insane. Tika, new recruit, did very well as well. As you can see right here, decent amount of wins with this team. This team has always been very good in almost every single season, which is pretty great. We also have some other teams, like this Demi team right here, went with no losses. This team right here survived until the very end. Very weird team. I know it looks kind of strange, but it did win a lot. Vorpal over here with this cultist team. We always run a lot of cultist teams, so that one survived, as well as the second team, which is this weird Piercer team. The thing that really makes this team is Yibby, right there. Yibby's very good. That held very well. So did Gort. Gort is the GOAT. We all love Gort. Grandpa Gort holding very well as well. Right here. Morgan doesn't even target in front of Malvira. But here, let me just show you. Glace beat it, and then this was the attack afterwards. So the way that this was beat is he essentially baited, stacked block, put his Scourge through, and it killed everything. But you'll see what happens here. Okay, that Scourge is a bait. That's fine. Then we got the Shadows in the Scourge. Scourge is supposed to go through. Well, snared right there. Sucked, and boom, doesn't work. Loss. That was freaking funny to see. Gort ended up standing until the end as well. We also have Emil over here with his Lady A team. He's run a variation of this for a very long time. It works very well. Lady A, obviously very good. We have 10 Lady A's now, which is kind of ridiculous. The new arena change, as much as I don't think it was enough for a majority of the player base, for us, ended up helping a lot. Here we got that team going too, if anyone's interested. I'm just kind of trying to breeze through. And then we got Sebastian over here with this cultist team. Every time, our cultist teams do pretty well. Now, when we talk about the opponents, though, there was one specific team that stood that we simply couldn't beat. To be honest, we got very close with a couple different strategies. We know 2 different ways that might be able to beat it, but we just couldn't get it right. And that's on this team, which was run by Gundraven. It was run by Milk Me, and it was the one team that we couldn't beat. As you can see here, we got Pope here. Pope, really good single target damage. Very tanky, very hard to rock. And our Dia's over there to do insane ground damage, and Lady A does insane air damage. Targets all around the map. Awaken Chaos had a total of 12 different Lady Alexandras, including, by the way, an A5 Lady Alexandra. Still got beat, but holy cow, was it annoying. Now, I know we have a lot of Lady A's, so we can't really complain so much, but it's not like we were the ones with more of them. Anyways, this team, very strong, couldn't beat it. Of course, they also had a ton of these with Yimmer instead of Ardea. These ones we did end up beating. I'll show the strategy for that in a second. Glace, shout out Glace. He was running this team, A5 Yimmy, A3, A5 Vald, at least A3 Yimmy and Sargak, I'm pretty sure. He always runs a team like that. And then we also had some keeps here. This one, Lady A keep, we did end up beating, as well as this keep, which we did end up beating. But these were so RNG, and it just wasn't worth it when it was pretty close. So, to go into this, I want to show off some interesting attacks and attacks that I did. Now, obviously, I only have 5 attacks, but I did end up doing some guildmates attacks who were absent or needed a little bit of, help. Or maybe I just offered because I was kind of bored waiting. So here we have DC Tussie. This team was beat by Emil, shout out Emil. But I beat this on DCT, which is our ex-guild leader's account. Good friend of mine, shout out DCT. This was a very stressful attack. And I'm going to have to pause it to kind of explain this. So this is the team that we're dealing with here. We have our Lady A, we have our Reeve, we have our Praetus. Similar to the one that Emil was running that didn't get beat in the tower, but this time it's in the keep. This one was very hard. The main thing you guys need to know about Lady Alexandra is she requires a lot of practice to beat. She's not impossible, but she's very strong and she's very, very methodically beat. You have to beat her by being very methodical. So the way that we had to deal with this is we had to do it real time manually. Attack codes do not work. And you have to look at her passive procs, which allows her to hit across the map. Completely RNG. You got to really work around it. And you have to be very mindful, because when she does that, even if you're over here on this map, she'll immediately kill you. So what we waited for is we waited for about, it was about 2 minutes and 56 seconds. Place her. She immediately passives, deals damage over there. Then we're able to take the ultimates from the opponents and we get hit. Then we place our Chaos Shamans. You're going to see a lot of Chaos Shamans. Maybe I'll make a video dissecting them a little bit heavier. Chaos Shamans are disgusting. They're the strongest team of Soldier to ever come out in this game. You're going to see a lot of level 5 Shamans destroying everything in sight. Here we put 2 Chaos Shamans because for some reason Moonhan decided to make them stack. Then we have our rocks come in immediately after. Chaos Shamans, they're going to do some damage, but they're mostly going to put out the buff. Now, our rock is getting attacked by Lady A, but he hits Pope twice, and because of the stacking burns and the level 5 doubling the length of the burns, Praetus, one of the tankiest platform units in the game that increases his HP, gets melted, deleted, doesn't even exist. Now the rest of the fight is just kind of waiting for specific timings. Here we do 2 healers so that we can heal. One of them did get stunned, I'm pretty sure, or they were like desynced, so they ended up doing that. Wait for 2 Lady A passives, then we can literally just fly over Lady A, place another rare to kind of soak up, and then the flyers go through and we win. That was a very exhilarating, honestly very, very fun attack, and I really, really enjoyed doing that. Now, there's also some other attacks that I did end up doing. Number 1 is I did this attack, which is not great. Obviously, I did kind of poorly. And I did these attacks, and I did kind of poorly. This one had a curse to it. This one friggin' decided not to work because of the attack codes malfunctioning, which is real, that's what happened, and it didn't work. So let me find a different one to show you guys that did end up working. Alright, so now we see Tim's team here. This is the team, the same team. This is how we beat it. This is so specific, and oh my goodness, was this hard as hell. And of course we're using the the burners. The burners have to be level 5 for a lot of these, I'm gonna be honest. Especially with the new gem system, sure we have higher BP, but your offense is also going to have, or the defense is also going to have stronger stuff there. There we bait out the ults. Then we send the bombs. These have to proc procure and Yumi and Alex. Then it's a single rock, double burners. Kratos insta dies. He literally doesn't stand a chance. Then we do the axes and the bombs, and they disintegrate. And then Yumi dies. And then we send the archers and we win. And then, because the archers barely live, we have one set of axes. This is 3 block, and it is a win. It's so specific, so stressful, and that's the strat we had to use. Now, there was also another very, very common team that they were running, which is these teams. Now, I'm gonna have to give the biggest shout out to Jackson for coming up for a strat for these. The Lady A strat was made by Para. Shout out Para, as always. Jackson used a very specific burner strat, which I'll show you guys. So when I said that these burners are the strongest soldier that the game has ever seen, I'm not over-exaggerating. I'm being completely honest. If we see this, you're going to see that these nightmare teams are incredibly hard. And Carnelian is a healer of choice because she's the best counter to the burners. The whole idea here is that she can't lose to burners. But that doesn't matter because you can put burners on these mages. So we go out here, we bait out, and we get Wukong low because Carnelian doesn't heal. Then we do the double burner with mages. Bam! Dead. Torador dead. Boom. Hit beyond. Egg Yumi. There we go. And then we decide, oh, we're going to just send in the shadows and a healer. And then Torador dies. And then you can just kind of dog through because Torador's dead. Hatchet doesn't do anything. And then, I mean, we can freaking just walk through. I don't know why the burners are like this. I don't know why. It is so stupid. I'm telling you guys, these things are strong as hell. Now let's go over to a team that I beat. And this time, it actually wasn't with level 5 burners because I am just barely off of level 5s. This still works. Now, obviously, my BP is pretty high. My Uridan's at 137 now. And, you know, I have okay BP. But my point still stands. Sure, I failed the second attack, but it is just so stupid what these guys do. Double burners, mage, you go out here, you hit them again, this time with the burn, and they just melt. They disintegrate. And then the crazy thing is, even if you build you build like a Lily team, then you use a different burner and rare archers or something, and then you lose. Like, there's nothing you can do. It's so stupid. Now, there's also some other versions that I would ideally like to show. Site X. This is a harder variation. I only showed Wukong versions so far. This was one that really had us stuck for a little bit until we realized, oh, this is easy. Let's just change the freaking strat slightly. So this is, I did Unlucky's attacks. We have level 5 burner, only level 4 books, which is low. Then again, we had level 7 shadows. I don't recommend hitting these high level teams with less than level 7 shadows, which I know sounds crazy, but that's how crazy high level GvG is right now. Anyways, we send the book, hits it, gets Abomination to a low-ish level. Then it's just, once again, the burners and the mage. We hit them, bam, bam, dead. And then we hit beyond, and friggin' Hatchet almost dies. And then dies. Like, what the heck? Why is this allowed? Anyways, as the guild that I will say kind of made most of these strats, I am proud of us for making these, but like, holy cow. These need a nerf, and they are getting nerfed eventually. But yeah, it is silly. And you can see that most of these were beat like that. Nightmare teams are terrible right now. They're terrible. Look, boom. Immediate beat. It's dumb. It's dumb. Now, there's also some other teams that they were running. I mean, there's some SO teams. But for the most part, I was a little disappointed by the lack of variety in their strong teams. I felt like they didn't really try to explore cultists very much. It was a lot of Arbiter, a little bit of Chaotic, and a lot of Nightmare teams. As you can see, the Nightmare teams did not stand too much of a chance. This one was a little bit hard. I don't know why with this one, but it was built very well. I'll show this one. And then I think that's most of what I want to show. I don't want to leak most of their defenses and how to beat them, but I do want to show the ones that I am involved in, obviously. I did a bunch more of these attacks. I mean, I did like maybe like 16 attacks today. It was a lot of fun, and I would definitely do it again. I really enjoy these very close battles. Obviously, I have to give props to AC, but also because we beat them and Awaken Chaos is potentially the number 4 guild in GvG. Does that make us the number 4 guild in GvG? Are we now number 4 now? I mean, I'm not gonna say it, but maybe that's the case. Anyways, it's just an exciting, fun match. I had a lot of fun, like I keep saying. This is why I love GvG, because, I mean, hell, there were like 10 of us in a voice chat at the same time, helping each other out and working together as a team. It was an absolute blast. It's what I love about this game. The community, obviously. And yeah, I would... I will be looking forward to another close match. I would love to fight the main people that I would like to fight, just in case you guys are interested. The Rage, very strong guild, one that we have always struggled with. I would love to fight the Rage again. I will say the top 3 are so far above everyone else that no one wants to fight them because it's miserable and it's terrible, and you're basically prone to getting zeroed or close to it. So I'm not looking forward to that. But the Rage is a big one. I would like to fight MLG. I know MLG is always kind of below Overlord, but just barely. I don't know where they are. I think they changed their name. Either way, there's a couple guilds I would like to fight, but Awaken Chaos was on my list to beat, and we finally beat them, and by a decent margin too. I mean, we were ahead by around this amount, and then our last hitters didn't feel like they needed to really practice a lot because they don't have to. So they ended up getting a couple wins, but not much. We beat them by a okay margin. So very proud of us, very proud of our guild. Just want to share this with you guys, maybe give you guys a little bit of insight into some things. But once again, there's a kind of a mutual respect in the top guilds to not leak strats because it is kind of lame. So not only do I not want to really leak too many of their defenses, I also don't want to leak too many of how we beat them. I know it's interesting for some people, but it's just the way that it is. These take a lot of work, the strats take a lot of time to come up with, and a lot of effort, and the defenses take a lot of time, effort to come up with. And sharing it publicly is kind of not cool if you share like everything. So, hope you guys understand. Wanted to share what I was involved in, mainly. And yeah, maybe those chats will serve you well because the burners are disgusting. Anyways, that's it for me. Thank you guys for watching. Destined signing out.